is gone, no more. And I think that's okay. There's no reason why we have to wait till the very last second to put in an order that's important to us. So, my challenge to you is to have your order in by 3 p.m. on Wednesday at the latest. And then, thousands and thousands of orders go in at the very end. And sometimes it even kind of gums up our internet system on InTouch, and it goes real slow and is very frustrating. So please plan for what you want to have accomplished this month and get it taken care of. The day before the last day is really great. The last day, you may have to wait up to 2 weeks for your order, but if you order on the 29th, you may get it in 5 to 7 days. So it's a very good idea to get your order in as soon as you can. So that's my little preaching on that one. We're in our last 3 days of the $20 startup promotion. So if you have people on the fence or people you haven't spoken with yet, now's the time to do it. As soon as you get done with this Zoom meeting tonight, get on the phone and check in with everyone that you would love to have on your team and say, we're down to the wire here. I'd love to have you on my team. And then another thing to keep in mind as we're moving into May, May is a great gift giving month. You will have Mother's Day, Teachers Day, Nurses Day, graduations. We have lots of fun gifts for graduates. So think what you have in your inventory. What you want to do is make sure you have things on your shelf that if somebody calls and says, what could I give a 17-year-old girl graduating from high school? You have ideas and you have product on your shelf for that. So plan ahead. And that order would need to go in now, so you have it for those graduation times and for Mother's Day. So we always want to be prepared. Dillard's and Target don't wait to see what people want to have things on their shelf for gift giving. They have them ready. Then the other thing to know is in relationship to ordering, prices on some products are going up on May 16th. So if you're placing an order this month, there's a couple things to consider. One thing you can do is check in with your customers that use the products that the prices are going up and say, hey, do you want to save some money and stock up a little bit? I'm placing an order and I can order in other things for you. Because they might want to get ahead of the game. The other thing you can think about for yourself is if you purchase at the lower price and have it on your shelves, then when you sell it at the higher price, you make an even greater profit than the 50%. So that's being a smart businesswoman. The list of products affected by the price increases are on our documents shared button on the on our app on this website. So check those out and work with your order accordingly to that if that's something you want to do. Something else to keep in mind is exciting things down the road. May 9th, we can register for seminar. Ruby, I don't know I know a lot of us are Ruby seminar, which Ruby and Diamond is July 24th to 27th. Sapphire and Emerald is July 28th to 31st. So if you haven't been considering it, going to seminar can be life-changing. I went my first year. Well, I didn't go my first year. I told my director, are you kidding? I'm not going to do that. Didn't I, Donna? And the next year I went and it opened my eyes and I did more. The following year I went and I came home and earned a car. The year after that, when I went, I came home and became a sales director. I could see a bigger picture, and my husband went with me and he definitely could see the big picture. He saw the big picture without all the boulders in it. I, of course, was looking for boulders, but he didn't. And so he just knew that that could all work out fine. So going to seminar is one of those things you may say, I can't afford to go, but it's possible that you cannot afford not to go. If you want to move ahead in your business, if you want to see the bigger picture, being at seminar is a key place for you to be. And it's very interesting this year. It's Charlotte, North Carolina. Normally I tell my consultants, okay, we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and this is where we'll meet, and this is, none of us have a clue what's going to be happening. I mean, there's an agenda, and actually the agenda is listed on InTouch now. So it's really good to look at it, and there's some videos for you to watch and understand what's different. It's going to be very unique, and you want to bring yourself up to date on that as well. So be checking that out and be making your decision now so that you can tell your sales director, I'm in, I'm going with you. Okay, so unless anyone of our directors knows of any other announcements, I really think that was all that I had. So now we're going to recognition. And we're going to start with the top units percentage in submitted points. And this is very important when you want to be a team player with your unit. This percentage doesn't have anything to do with how many points you had. It has to do with the fact that you're participating and you turned your information in. Even if you don't have any points, it's okay. Or 50 points, whatever. So we're going to start number 7 with 29% participation of submitting points is the Judy Roman unit. Congratulations to all of you. Number 6 is with 33% is the Donna Scott unit. All right. Woo, woo, woo. And number 5, the amazing Harvey unit, 35% participation. Number 4 at 45% is the Strunk unit. Woo-hoo! Okay, number 3 is the Haste unit. Oh, we have a 3-way tie with 50%. The Haste unit, the Sigel unit, and the Carter unit. So they're not 3, 2, 1. They're all 1, 1, 1. So we're doing great, but we can do better. Remember, just getting that turned in by noon on Monday makes a difference to the percentage points. And now let's talk about the individuals. I'm going to tell you the top 10. And I want to tell you, there's some easy ways to get points. Just fill out your weekly accomplishment sheet and send it to your director. Does not have to take long at all, and it tells you where you are in your business. That's a super easy way. Another easy way is just to attend the meeting. You can just sit here. Of course, be professional, sitting up, looking good, the best you can in your situation. We know Jennifer's sick as can be, but her ears are very professional and she's up to date. So those are things that you can do. And a career or a coaching call with your director. Just call your director. She loves it when you call her. I have a consultant on here who calls me after the meeting. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, my phone rings, and I know it's Laura. She's calling to do her coaching call right afterwards, and she knows she's got her points done. Check mark. So it's a great thing to do. So let's see who is number 10. Jennifer Byers of the Haste unit. She had 597 points, and this is with her being sick all week. So let's give her some credit. $297 in sales. You know what? How that happens? She's been building her business. And even when you're down and out, I remember one time I had the flu and my kids had the flu. We all had the flu. I just kept putting things outside the door for people to pick up. I still made money because I put the time in ahead of time. So believe me, it pays off in times when you cannot work. We always say work when you can, and then when you can't, your work will take care of you too. Number 9 with 629 points, Lisa Schreck from the Scott unit. She has 3 bookings, a facial, and an interview that she did. So good job, Lisa. You kept things going. Number 8 is Des Prakish from the Strunk unit, 927 points. She is a new consultant and is listed in the top 10. Good going, Des. You're doing a great job. Number 7 from the Haste unit is Shannon Schumann. Shannon, let me get my notes here, had 1,167 points, 2 bookings, and 1 party. Boy, you know what? It is so important. Those parties are the heart of our business. If we don't have our customers coming in, we don't have much business. So good job, Shannon. Number 6, Jenny Elkins. She has 7 bookings on her books, 1,181 points, 2 facials, 1 interview, and 300 in sales. And that is the way to keep working your business, Jenny. Number 5 from the Roman unit with 1,308 points is Becky Osborne. She has 5 bookings on her books. That's, again, what keeps things going. Number 4 is Tony Kelly from the Strunk unit. She has 2,390 points, 2 bookings, 3 interviews, and a party. And I know Tony is a hard worker. I think works another full-time job, and obviously, and has a family that she takes care of as a mama. So she keeps things going. Now, our top 3. Number 3 from the Carter unit, and we're going to hear a little something from, let's see, do we just hear from the number 1? Or do we hear from all 3? I can't remember. Okay, all 3. Number 3 from the Carter unit with 2,530 points, Barbara Bell. Barbara, can you unmute yourself? She had 2 bookings, a party, and 3 facials. So Barbara,
So
where
Barbara
are you?
she's at another meeting tonight.
Okay.
So she's not able to be on, but I will just tell you that what I've seen with her is just the consistency of, holding appointments. And so what you're seeing now is the full circle of the booking, taking booking seriously, implementing what she's learning, staying present and being where her feet are at, and adding in those extra facials and parties, and you're just starting to see some consistency there, and so it rolls over from week to week. So we're super proud of her and excited for her to finish the month strong. So she's also a golden girl. She had over 1,000 wholesale order for the month, and so we're excited about that too.
All right, great. And number 2 from the Harvey unit with 2,600 points is Cheryl Drake. She had a party, 3 facials, and $500 in sales. Is Cheryl on?
I don't think she could make it tonight either, but she had her first party by herself, had 3 people, and sold $500. She also earned her 6th free Great Start bundle. So she maxed out on all the Great Start bundles, which is super exciting. And she's booking and super excited. So she couldn't be on here tonight, but we're excited for her.
That is a new consultant working her business, listening to her director and getting things going. $500 in sales in her first party by herself. That's fabulous. And number 1, I know she's on from the Strunk unit with 2,627 points, is Lori Parks. Lori Parks, also a new consultant. She has done a career chat this last week. She has a new team member, and a little birdie told me this is her 3rd week in a row to have a new team member. So she is building a team as well as building her personal business. And she's building her inventory. She has put in 1,800 wholesale this month. And that means she is prepping herself to provide excellent customer service and to save time. You know, when you have the product on your shelf, you save a lot of time because then you just can give the product to your customer instead of saying, okay, I'll take your order. Now I'm going to go order it. Now I'm going to wait a week and a half. Now I'm going to try to track down this customer, meet up with her to give her her product. By then, she can't even remember why she was so excited about it. But Lori is taking it the other direction. She is doing what we've learned to do, and that's to have the product on her shelf, hand it to her customer when the customer is excited about it, and take it from there. So Lori, share a little bit about what's motivating you or what is most exciting, because you've not been with Mary Kay very long. A month?
Just a month. Jana had given me a call at the end of March and had me sit in on some training she was doing. And then she got with me again and asked me if I'd like to join. And I said, yeah, but I'm not having any parties.
I said that.
And then I started putting the products, you know, using them and everything. And I just fell in love with them. And then I did some research on the Mary Kay website, and I just decided I wanted to do this, and I was going to jump in with both feet. And I've got my inventory built up. We have a big party next Tuesday. And then I'm seeing a customer tomorrow, and I saw one last week, and I have another one I'm going to call this evening. So I feel like once we have that party, things are going to move really well. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say things are moving really well already, Lori. So
Yes.
congratulations.
Thank
And
you.
it's wonderful that you've seen the vision now
Yes.
and you're moving with it, because that will make a difference. Why wait around to earn different parts of your commission and your income?
Right.
Earn it all at once. So
Yep.
congratulations. That's absolutely
And
fabulous.
I'm hoping I can get another gal signed up maybe by the end of this week. I'm hoping.
pretty sure you can.
Plus, I have a wonderful mentor. Jana is wonderful.
Yep.
Yeah.
She knows what she's doing. She
Yes,
does.
she does.
So you listen to her, do what she says.
Yep, I am.
Okay, well, congratulations to everyone. And what we're going to do now is move on into our groups. And so I believe it is if you don't have any bookings on your books, you stay right here in this room. And if you have one or two, you go into the bronze room. 3 or 4 into the silver, and 5 or more, you go into the gold room. So go to your next room, and we'll be back together to close up in 30 minutes.
See you soon.
You should see down at the bottom.
It has 4 boxes and it says breakout room.
Yeah, you
Don't
know
have
what? I'm
that.
not seeing it on
I'm
mine.
not either.
Oh, yeah, you have to go down and hover over the bottom.
Well, I had to get rid of the chat. If you have the chat up, you won't see it. Soon as you get rid of the chat, you can see the breakout room. So if you are in bronze, silver, or gold, depending on the number of bookings you have, you're going to go to one of those. If you hover over it, it'll tell you which ones to go
I'm
to.
still not seeing it on mine.
I don't see it.
Just tell me which room y'all want to go to and I will send you there. Lori, which one? Are you bronze?
Bronze.
Okay. I will hang tight and I'll shoot you over there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, who's next?
Okay.
Does it say you're going? Okay, who else? Anybody else need to go to a room that
The rest of you get to your other room. This, where you are right now is for 0 bookings.
I
So
need
if
to
you
go to
have any
gold, Jana.
bookings, you move on.
Jana, I need to go to gold.
Was that
Shrek.
Lisa Shrek?
Yep.
Okay, gotcha, girl.
Thank you.
Great job getting the gold, sister.
Anybody else in this one need to move on somewhere else?
I think we're ready to go.
Okay, let's
And
go.
And then Allison is running the show here tonight.
Do I need to do anything with the recording?
Leave it
Okay.
alone. It's going on YouTube.
Okay. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and get started because we have 28 minutes to get you guys a booking. So this class is closing the sale and upselling. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about closing the sale, but really what we really want to talk about is closing the booking. Because I think that it's, too much information ahead of where you are. Those are going to be great coaching call questions for you when you have your bookings to get in touch with your director and say, okay, I got a booking. So now what's next? What am I doing? And so let's talk a little bit about closing the booking. And, for some of you, I was talking with a couple of you today in my unit about this actual thing today. And so it's very fresh and relevant in a lot of people's minds. Some of you have been in Mary Kay for a long time. Some of you might be new, but it's always good to be reminded about because we learn so much and we have access to so much and we have social media and we compare and we see all the things, to keep it very simple about how to get your bookings. And so one of the things I want to tell you, because I know a lot of times when you see the tracking sheet, it talks about the parties and the group gatherings and the 1+1+1s and all the things. I want you to remember that one of the most basic, simple processes of booking is booking the face and turning it into a party. Okay. And so and the reason why I'm telling you that is because when you're going into closing the appointment in the sense of closing the booking, it's a lot easier to secure the face and then turn it into a party than it is to try to get her to commit to booking a party, because in her mind, the initial reaction is, I need to clean my house. I've got a dog. I've got my, brother living there, and like everything's chaotic, and let me check with all my friends first. And, and then you're chasing around behind her. So when you're looking for that initial party or that, to book parties, you want to book faces first, and then you turn it into a party. Okay. Now, it goes 2 ways. One, it goes, you book a face, you offer her to have some friends, and she still just keeps it as a face. And so you've got a booking because you've got a face to wash. She doesn't know yet if she likes the product enough to work that hard. She doesn't know yet if she likes you enough to work that hard. And so you want to make sure that you're giving her the customer care of booking the face, sitting down with her, showing her the product. And this is something that I talked with Elizabeth about today, but something that's very relevant. And so for Elizabeth, you get to hear it again. But for the rest of you, if you are trying to sell Mary Kay because you don't believe 100% that Mary Kay sells itself, you will always be selling Mary Kay. Okay. And so when you give Mary Kay permission to sell itself, then all you have to do is focus on the setup and the vibe and the affirmations and making her feel important and, all of the things that go into her trying the product, being prepared and all of that. And then let the product sell itself. Okay. Once that happens, you can turn her then. Now she knows she likes it. And I can't tell you how many times I've had people tell me, I don't have any money, so, I don't want to waste your time. And I've just said, girl, it's free. It's free. It's fun. It's free. Don't worry about it. You're going to help me by helping me have an appointment to share, to practice with, whatever it is that you're doing. And I can't tell you how many times people have told me they don't have any money and then they do this. And then all of a sudden they have money. All of a sudden they have a Visa bill or a Visa card. All of a sudden, they can get this. They're not going to get everything, but they're going to get this today. And now she knows she likes the product enough to maybe talk to you about that 50% off shopping spree or that free microdermabrasion or the free travel roll-up bag or whatever your hostess gift is. 10% of the total sales of the party, 15% of the total sales of the party, 20% when she has 2 bookings, whatever, if you're doing the organic Mary Kay hostess promotion. Now she's willing to work a little bit harder because now she knows. Now that takes a commitment from you of your time because you're going from a face, an appointment, rebook her for her party, and then you've got the party going. Now you have somebody who is committed to the product, knows what you're going to do, likes you, likes the process, understands what's going to happen at the appointment, and she's inviting her friends. Okay. The second way that would go is you book her for her facial. And you say to her, and she says, okay, Wednesday at 3. And you go, okay, so great. Wednesday at 3. I'm so excited. Hey, listen, it's just as easy for me to wash your face as it is a couple of your friends. So if you want to bring a couple of ladies, that's totally fine. She goes, oh, okay, great. Can I bring my mother-in-law and my sister and da 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 da? And then you say, yeah, you know what? And you're going to earn some things for free for being a hostess. And now you're moving right into the party. But I always say, if all of those people cancel, if for some reason there's a tornado in Kansas, and everybody cancels, we'll still get together Wednesday at 3. So you still have the booking. Does that make sense? So either way, you are booking the face and you're turning it into a party, or you're booking the face and you're facialing the face and then you're turning it into a party because now she's excited about, or if she doesn't book a party out of your facial, she might at least come off of some referrals that give you an opportunity to book a face and all that. Now, I'm going to give you a little tip when you start facialing people that make it easier to book referrals. Okay, so this is another closing the booking tip for you. What I like to do is I like to take a picture of her while she's with me. Okay. So if I say I don't want to hold that up because I got all the new Mary Kay products. Okay, here we go. This is like a little mini Time-Wise repair set. Let's say she's trying this and this is her gift for getting together with you, whatever. Anyway, I just have her hold it and be like, I like to do something fun. So it would be like, and I take a little picture of her while I'm sitting there. Then when she gives me her referrals, I'm texting them the next day and I say, hey, I know my name's Allison. I know you don't know who I am, but your girlfriend Elizabeth had a facial with me last night and she had a great time and she gifted you an opportunity to, whatever your booking script is. And then I attach the picture, okay, of her friend. So she doesn't think that it's like some scam, because don't we get 1,000 scam calls and 1,000 scam text messages and all the things? I just got a scam thing today. Lots of calls, but text messages and all this kind of stuff. So she sees her friend in the picture. So she's like, what was Elizabeth doing? And then she'll probably call Elizabeth and say, you did some kind of a facial or something. And then, because Elizabeth had fun, she'll say, yeah, you got to book it. And then she'll say, oh, okay. And then that just helps the process, I think, secure the next booking. If Elizabeth decides that she doesn't want to be a hostess or she doesn't have time, that kind of thing. Does that make sense? So it helps you. So it's not such a cold call. It's not such a cold booking, Now, if you're calling and you're talking to people, then I still send the text message. I say, oh, I'm going to send you a text message. Like if I'm talking to her and I'm like, I was just with Elizabeth yesterday. We had a great time here. I'm going to send you a quick picture. And I text her the picture. Then she go, oh yeah, it's Elizabeth. Because don't we want to do what our friends do? We want to go where our friends went. We're like, oh my gosh, you went on a cruise. I want to go on a cruise. Oh, you're shopping at Aldi. I want to shop at Aldi. You got a Trader Joe's. I want to go to Trader Joe's. I mean, like we kind of want to do what our friends do, or we trust people more when our friends trust them. So all you need is one person. Okay. So because this group has no bookings, okay, what I'm telling you is you can use a traditional script on people, but when you are trying to get out of the main room and over into the bronze room, okay, you are going to grab your closest friend and your script sounds like this. Girl, I need to wash a face. Okay, like today or tomorrow. Like what are we doing? Okay? Because the whole process it allows the whole process to start. One of the greatest failures you can do to yourself is to not practice Mary Kay the right way on your friends. Okay, because if you just like, okay, girl, you're my friend, so I'm just going to show you, and you like don't go through the correct motions, you're not prepared when you meet somebody that says, you do Mary Kay? You know, have you been in Mary Kay long enough, you've had that happen to you and you're like thrown off guard because you're like in the middle of doing something else, and then somebody says, do you do Mary Kay? And you're like, how would you even know that? But you forgot you have on something that says Mary Kay, or you got a bag or something. And, like, I don't know where I was going with that, but you want to be prepared and you want to be ready to say, oh my gosh, yes, of course I do Mary Kay. It's a lot of fun. We have a good time. Let me get your name and number. I always sort of secure the booking ahead of time by going, well, let me get your textable number. I always say textable number because if I say, oh, I'll just call you, like we don't want people to call us. Nobody wants people to call. I mean, rarely. Now, if you're dealing with like, you know, even my mom text messages, but if you're dealing with women that are maybe a little bit more mature, they might be like, just call me. But most people want you to just text them. So I'll say, well, what's your textable number? And I will follow up with you and I'll give you some information. Girl, I can send you samples, and people are like, oh, okay. Because texting seems like better than calling. You know what I mean? And so then you're in a situation where you're getting some contacts and all of the things. Now, I want to bring up something that is kind of, I'm going back to the booking a face and booking a party, because I think sometimes when you put the party before the face, you are going to squash your opportunity for the solid closing of the booking, because when she meets you, you're fun, you get her excited, and then you try to turn it into work for her, she all of a sudden is like, okay, well, let me check with my friends, I'll get back to you, and then you got to do all of those things. So I usually just really try to say, hey, listen, Jana, girl, you are so fun. Let's do this. I'm going to text you and we'll connect and we'll figure out a good time. I like to do Mondays and Wednesdays. Maybe you can kind of tentatively book it while you're talking to her. And then you follow up because there's fortune in the follow up. And you say, hey, it was great to meet you today, Jana. Really looking forward to our time together. I can't wait for you to try My Mary Kay and tell me your thoughts on it. And if she's like, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, then I move right forward with the booking. And I go, okay, well, what day works best for you? Daytime, nighttime, weekends, weekend, whatever. You narrow down a time. Then I say, it's just as easy for me to wash your face as it is a couple of your friends. So you're welcome to invite a couple of girlfriends. But if nobody shows up or they all don't, they cancel on you, you and I are still getting together Wednesday at 2. That way she knows you're not canceling. You're not going to cancel because it's raining. That's what Rena Tarbert used to say. You've got it locked in. She knows you're committed. Rena Tarbert used to say, and if for some reason I break both of my legs, I will send somebody in place of me to come facial you. That's how important I value your time. Now, dovetail, that's called dovetailing, and we don't do a whole lot of that anymore. But it's important for people to know that you're serious about your time. You don't have a ton of time to be doing Mary Kay anyway, right? Chances are you got other things going on. So you want those appointments to book and you want those appointments to hold. Okay. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about the obvious, but I want to at least say it because sometimes your booking percentages are low because you wouldn't even book with you. Okay. So you have to decide what your goal is, why you're excited about your bookings, and transfer that energy to whoever you're booking. Oh my gosh, girl, I'm so excited. I'm so excited I ran into you. I've been wanting to get in touch with people. First of all, when you make the commitment, your eyes are going to see different. Okay, when you are waiting for people to recognize you and say, "Oh, don't you do Mary Kay?" You're going to be waiting forever. Okay. And you'll get one or two people from that, but you can be more assertive by being like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I ran into you. Stop it. We need to get together and, create that conversation that's organic and then say, let me get your textable number. I'll let you know did you know I'm doing a Mary Kay thing? I should get you some samples. Girl, I can totally hook you up. It's totally fun, and I don't put a lot of pressure on that initial like booking script. I just make it fun so that when I do text her, she's not like, oh gosh. If I stand there and talk to her for 20 minutes, when I start texting her, she's probably going to just ghost me because she doesn't have time to deal with me. Right. So I make it quick and fun and I move on to the next thing. I don't hand out physical business cards because then that's her calling me. That will never happen. I don't care how cute and sharp you are. I could walk out like this today and say, call me. And people will be like, okay. And then they don't. Okay. People will tell you no, it's okay. People tell me no. And I just look at them like I don't understand. Like, really? Okay. Are you sure? Like I just kind of always like, okay, girl, it's no problem. It's, no big deal. But how about this? That's like my key phrase. If I could coin that, if I could just buy a shirt that says, how about this? Because I'm always taking the power back. So I might say, well, how about this? If I don't hear from you, I'll text you in like next week. That way I'm getting permission to text her again. I'm always like, how about this? You either have the power or she has the power. Right now, if you've attempted to book and you don't have any bookings, and you're waiting for them to call you back, you have given the power to all of the people that you're talking to. The way you clear that up is if Kelly says to me, girl, I'm so busy. I don't have my schedule yet. It doesn't come out till next week. Some people live like that. They live where they don't get their work scheduled, but a 1 week at a time. Okay. So if Kelly says to me, I don't get my schedule until Wednesday, blah, 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 I go, okay, great. And she'll say, so I'll call you and I'll let you know when I get my schedule, what my schedule looks like for next week. Then I go, okay, great. How about this? It's because now Kelly has the power and I don't want Kelly to have the power. I'm the CEO. So I say, okay, how about this? If I don't hear from you by like Friday, I'll just give you a quick text to remind you. Now I have the power. Does that make sense? You're going to see your booking rate go up when you clear out the gray area, when you let people know this is what's going to happen next, not you tell me what's going to happen next. They might tell you what they're going to do next. That's great. Okay. How about this? How about this? How about this? Whatever they say. If they say, I'm going to call you tomorrow, I go, that's awesome. And how about this? If I don't hear from you by tomorrow, can I text you? Okay, great. Because now I have control again. Okay. Now, part of what I was going to say is some of your booking rates are low because you wouldn't book with you because you've made this so serious. It's no longer fun. It is no longer fun. Now, fun is my jam. Like that's my sweet spot, my wheelhouse, and it's not everybody's. But if you make it like, I'm holding parties, I need a hostess. Nobody wants to do that. You know what I mean? So if you're like, oh my gosh, I know some of you is going to take a minute to like loosen up and be like, hi. But, we've learned for decades to practice in the mirror. Look at yourself. When you are booking your appointment on the phone, do it in the mirror and look to see what you look like. If you're saying it like that, messaging is coming across. Okay. So you want to smile and have fun. And what happens is people will match your energy, right? If I'm looking out at you guys right now that are watching me, I can see you like, you're matching my energy. If I was like, look, y'all are in trouble because you have no bookings, you'd be like this. Who is this chick? And you'd stop listening, right? You'd be mad at me. So you'd have to understand that you have to get excited about your goal. You have to transfer that into your booking. You have to understand that there are going to be more phone calls. There are going to be more no's than yeses. That's part of the game. When people, if the waitress says to you, would you like dessert with that? How many times have you said no? She didn't like quit her job and go screaming and running out of the restaurant because you didn't order dessert. She just said, okay, great. And she closed the ticket and that was that. And then the next table came in and she asked the same question. Can I get y'all any dessert? And, sometimes you say yes. Sometimes you're like, yeah, let me look at a dessert menu. And then she's like, okay, great. She just upsold you. She just upsold the ticket. She don't care if you want the cheesecake. She cares that if you want the cheesecake because it's $14. Okay. And then she doesn't, you know what I'm saying? So it's learning how once you have that appointment to upsell it to a party, to upsell it to the next party, to upsell it to the interview. Okay, so let's just assume, because I know y'all can all get one booking. Your script is not this week is not hi, this is Allison. I'm a Mary Kay beauty consultant and I just started my Mary Kay business. That is not your script this week. Your script this week is your bestie saying, girl, I need your face. I need a favor. Because part of the win is learning how to make something happen when you need it to. And I'm guessing by looking at everybody here that you're either a parent or you are a dog parent, a cat parent, a bird parent. You have raised something. Okay, right? And how many times have you told your dog to sit and the dog was like, and you're like, sit. And then the dog doesn't sit. And then you're like, and then the dog's like, okay. It's just like your kid when you're like, okay, go to bed. I told you 15 minutes ago, go to bed. And then the kid's still running around. And then all of a sudden you're like, hey, go to bed. And then they're like, oh, okay, mama's serious, right? So it's the same kind of thing with your Mary Kay business. It's learning that the way this whole process starts is through the booking. And then it's the coaching call. For you guys, it's the coaching call. You get the booking, you're excited, you call your director, you're like, what's next? I want to make sure it holds. I was working with Elizabeth today, and Elizabeth, a gal told her something along the lines of like, I don't have any money. And, so right now funds are just really tight. That was her objection to the booking. She was excited that she won something at the tabletop, but then she said, just go ahead and give it to somebody else because I don't really have the money right now. And the response to that was trying to upsell her to the party because where she could earn some things for free. Okay. Whereas maybe it could have been just, oh girl, it's free. It's free. It's not going to cost you anything. It's fun. You're going to get a chance to try a product, compare it to whatever it is that you're currently using. Give me your honest opinion. And you're totally helping me because I'm in a face race, or it gives me credit in my Monday night meeting that I wash the face and I get points. And, you don't even have to spend anything. Now she's like, oh, okay. So then she books because there's a lane for you to give Mary Kay permission to sell itself. When you jump in that lane and you start persuading and convincing and trying to sell Mary Kay, you will be selling Mary Kay your entire Mary Kay career. And I'm not trying to do that. I'm going to let Mary Kay do what it does. My job is to get people into the lane of letting them try so Mary Kay can sell itself. I'm funneling people into the Mary Kay lane. That's not my sales lane. That's Mary Kay's lane. Does that make sense? So your figuring out zone is like, how can I get people to try the product? Because once they try the product, they love the product. They're loyal to the product. We know this already. We know how loyal people are to the product. We know how much people love the product. You've provided, then you can focus on presenting the best version of yourself, being excited about your goal. When she comes and sits down with you, you're like, Jana, first of all, thank you for coming. I'm so excited because I get to practice how to do this. You get to try a great product. I get points next week on my tracking sheet, and you're going to tell me your opinion about what you think. Just compare it to whatever it is that you're currently using. Only thing I ask is that you're honest. And people love to give their opinion about everything, right? Too much sometimes. Okay. And so it gives you and then she feels like she's helping you. And then she starts in with oh, this is okay. I tried Mary Kay a long time ago. I used to sell Mary Kay. I mean, you just all of a sudden, the wheels come on, like confession time. They start telling you all kinds of stuff. And you're like, oh, wow. Okay, put that on. Okay, here's your little cloth. Okay, take that off. How does your face feel? Okay, great. Now I want to talk to you a little bit about upselling the opportunity too, because we have a $20 starter kit. Okay, so what that looks like, it's part of the closing the sale. These are the questions you ask, or something very similar to this. Your directors know these questions. You don't just, after it's all done and Mary Kay has sold it to her, now you have to close it, right? So that looks like this. The first question is, did you have a good time? And you are shaking your head like this. And this is, all of you can do this, right? Did you have a good time? And this is, you are literally doing this on a video. You're doing this in person. You're doing this. I do it when I'm talking to people. Even if I'm doing it, like I am nodding my head. Did you have a good time? She's going to match what you're doing. So if she didn't have a good time, it's hard for her to go like this. She's going to be like, yeah, yes, actually at first I wasn't going to come. And then I decided I was going to come and I did have a very nice time. So thank you for forcing me to be here. Okay. The second question is, how does your face feel? And you literally do this. Now, people are going to come back in. Don't get distracted because I'm going to give you the 5 closing questions. Did you have a good time? How does your face feel? The third question, what did you like the best about the skincare? What did you like the best about the skincare? Not the lipstick looks great on you. We love that she wants to buy lipstick, but we want her to buy the skincare. And then, of course, you can say at this point, there's several options. One of them is, if money were no object, what sets would you be excited about? You're talking to her about your closing sheet, and she's looked at all that. So what sets would you be excited about if money were no object? This is where she's going to tell you, oh, money were no object, I'd take everything, right? And now you know more, which is good, leverage. And then the last question is, what sets would you like to start with? What would you like to start with tonight? And then you just close the sale. When that is done, you say, Lori, first of all, I admire you. I think you're fun. And I don't know if you've ever thought about anything like this, but I would love to share more about Mary Kay with you. Would you be willing to help me with one of my training calls with my director, just to listen to some information, see if it's something you get excited about? If it's not for you, that's totally fine. But my director has been driving a free car for 20 years, and I'm trying to do half of that. Okay. And so would you be willing to help me? And you just sell her that next appointment. Now that's considered a booking, I would imagine, on your tracking sheet. So now you've got a booking that you just held, you've got a future party potential, and you now have an opportunity to share the opportunity or listen and watch your director do it for you. Full circle. Then you'll get to, during that appointment, you'll end up watching your director book her again for you at something else. A Monday Night Live, a marketing call, another event that you're hosting, something like that. So for those of you that were in the main room, your goal is to grab your bestie and get her on the books. And if she tells you no, you delete her. No, I'm kidding. You just call someone else. You're going to find out who's going to support you. And then you'll start to build that confidence of okay, I've got at least one booking. So when, right? And then you're going to go from there. So, all right, I know we're running out of time. I think everybody is coming back in. And so I'm coincidentally closing the meeting. So do we have everybody in? Are all the rooms closed? Looks like yes.
They should be in.
Okay, great. All right, awesome. Well, I'm excited for all of you to get that hands-on training that you need that's relative to where you are in the business. I love that idea. I love the smaller groups. I'm excited to see how you will wrap up this $20 starter kit and how you will be setting yourself up. The work that you do this week is going to start to set you up for a very strong, what are we called? Fearless finish, okay, with the beginning of May. So, when I'm just going to really start the front of May. You start right now for the strong first week of May, right? Don't take 2 weeks of May to get really going into May. You want to start now and have a strong finish to April to have a strong May. Okay. And so my close is not a poem or anything like that. I was led to this scripture today, and then I wanted to elaborate on it because it's in my John Maxwell Leadership Bible, and it's Timothy 2, talks about 7, I believe it is, talks about, wait, where is it? I had it highlighted. For the Spirit of God does not make us timid, but gives us power and love and self-discipline. And I just think when I read about the laws of empowerment, you know, God always gives us what we need to lead. And you may not be leading a team. You might be leading yourself right now. But it's important that you understand if you have goals to lead a small team or to lead a large group of women, you have to have three things. And that is love, that is power, and power in like not a self-serving way, but power in owning your own power. Okay. A level of self-confidence and a sound mind. And I just think that when you give yourself permission to to be powerful, to love people, and to make good decisions and treat people the way you'd want to be treated, people will be drawn to you. They're going to want to know what you are doing in your Mary Kay, and they're going to want to sit down with you, and they're going to want to try the product, and we're going to let Mary Kay stay in that lane of selling itself. You're going to provide I'm just so grateful that you're here. Thank you for helping me. You know, you're going to provide the affirmation and the love and the support to those people. And then they're going to fall in love with Mary Kay because Mary Kay is easy to fall in love with, right? So I want you to make sure you're connecting with your director on how to finish strong, because this is where the champions are born, at the finish line. Okay. They were born way before the finish line, but champions show up at the finish line. They don't disappear and then reappear on the first. Okay. Talk to your director about how you can help the unit, how you can help your goal, and be a fearless finisher. So we're excited for you. Can't wait to see you guys next week. Have a powerful and productive weekend, or week into the weekend, and we'll see you in May. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Great job, Allison. Great training. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for helping. Congratulations on a great week.
Thanks.